It's time for a final corner. This is Health Matters. We have Shine back in the studio for our last Monday Health Matters for 2015. But don't worry, she's going to kick our butts into gear next week. Good morning. Welcome back, Shine.
Good morning, Catherine. Yes, only 4 days left until the new year.
I know, I can't believe. We've been talking about it, but now it's finally here.
Yeah, and people make New Year's resolutions. Sounds familiar?
Yes, indeed.
Well, don't wait until New Year's Eve to think about your resolution. Instead, take some time out a few days before and reflect upon what you really want to achieve this New Year. So today, why don't we start planning on New Year's resolution?
All right, that sounds really, really good, especially since, I don't know. I thought about a couple things, but maybe you can kind of help me get the resolutions kind of a little bit more specific, right? And maybe for our listeners too.
Yeah, when it comes to New Year's resolution, especially today, we're going to talk about regarding health and fitness, of course. It's kind of overwhelming to even think about it, or you get so pumped with making a long list of it and give it all up in a few days. Right? When I was studying in the States, I was going to the gym in Ellicott City, Maryland. And one day, that was January 2nd. So after the January 1st holiday, right? And I parked my car and walking to the gym.
Right.
And the gym windows were so all foggy.
Foggy?
Yeah. So I was like, what's going on?
Right.
And I went in there and it was packed with hundreds of people. and it seemed like everyone in town was like sweating in the gym.
Ew, but yeah. Okay, sorry.
And I was so shocked because that was first time like I saw that and then like, wow, New Year's resolution is real. But in a week, more than a half of the crowd was gone. And less than a month later, it was just back to normal.
Oh.
It means it's really hard to keep New Year's resolution, right?
Oh.
But today, I'm not setting you up for a failure in the new year. So I will help you set goals and make plans to be healthier in 2016.
Okay. So let's get started. I mean, I know a lot of people are really not looking forward to it, but it needs to be done. So let's get started. Should we I don't know, tell us, should we make lots of health resolutions or just stick with one, or what should we do?
First thing we should do is to make a New Year's resolution. I'm suggesting to make only one resolution regarding health and fitness. Well, you can make other things, but regarding health and fitness, let's talk about one. And your chances of success are greater when you just focus on changing one aspect of your behavior.
Okay.
And just don't run with the crowd and just go with the usual resolution like losing weight.
So generic.
Yeah, without any specific purpose.
Okay.
Instead, think about what you really want out of your life.
Okay.
Like if you think you have any health conditions, I recommend you get a health checkup at a hospital to really see what needs to be done for healthier you. Well, if you smoke, many of your previous resolutions might have been stop smoking.
Yes.
But I suggest avoid previous resolutions.
Ooh.
Because deciding to revisit a past resolution tends to be like again, and it sets you up for frustration and disappointment.
Right.
So, but you still need to try to quit smoking, right? So I suggest, how about developing healthy hobby to manage stress as opposed to, going back to smoking.
Okay.
Or maybe challenging yourself to achieve a bigger goal, like running a half marathon or learning to swim.
Okay.
So you can you can go swimming every day, or something to challenge you to stop smoking, or encourage you to stop smoking, or for those of you who cannot really swim, maybe you can challenge yourself to learn to swim, something specific and not really overwhelming.
Okay, so you don't want to say from day one, January 1st, I'm going to run a marathon this year. I'm going to be first place. Nothing like that, right? That's just too...
So personally, I've always wanted to run a half marathon.
Yes.
But I've never really made a plan for it. So this year, I want to set my New Year's resolution to run a half marathon.
Okay.
And psychologists have found we are more likely to succeed if we break our resolution into smaller goals that are specific, measurable, and time-based.
Oh, so if we break it down. Okay.
So for me, running a half marathon is like, okay, I'll run one time of this year. I kind of plan to run 10K in January.
Okay.
And February, 12K. And in March, 14K. And then like progressively reaching to 21K, which is about 13.1 mile half marathon. And then just train myself to do that. And then gradually. And I will sign up for a race in September, October, and November.
Yes.
Because there are lots of like marathon I can sign up for. And taking a profile picture in December to celebrate my success.
I have a question. If you're like a novice runner, like you don't really run on a regular basis, is it possible physically, if you do it gradually, to work up to a half? Because you're in like good shape, but I'm talking about like our listeners who might not be in good shape. Is it possible to, by December of next year, work your way up to a half marathon, or do you think that's too big of a goal?
I would say it's possible.
It's possible.
Yes.
Okay.
So I just set a roughly plan to run a 10K in January and 12K in February, but it involves other trainings as well. It'll involve some high intensity interval training to raise my lung capacity and stretching, clean eating. It'll involve everything.
Right.
So when you gear everything into like making like success for this specific goal,
right,
I am pretty sure that you can do this.
Oh.
And like what have you thought about any specific plans, Catherine?
Well, my mini goal for the end of this year was to get through one ballet class without sitting down at all. And I made that goal. I got to that goal. What happened is, like, for my 1 hour class, the last 10 minutes were like death for me. Like, I couldn't like stand. There's like a ballet bar, and I was like leaning against it and huffing and puffing. And then for the last 10 minutes, I felt really, really dizzy, like I was going to throw up. Okay. And then I realized my last ballet class, I just took it on this past Wednesday, right? Last week. And I realized without even thinking, oh my gosh, I didn't throw up. I made it in one piece. And even the teacher realized, she's like, you made it through the entire class. And so some people might think, what's so tough about a ballet class? Unless you've done it, folks, yeah, don't knock it, okay? It's not like heavy weightlifting or anything like that, but she has she has your heart pumping, and your muscles are sore even while you're doing it. So, yeah, I made it. So I'm my goal for this year, at least my mini goal for up to at least to the end of March, is I want to make it through. She has back-to-back classes, so I'm going to take both classes. My mini goal is to make it through 2 hours of ballet without passing out and throwing up. So that's my mini goal for now.
And once you set like specific goals like that, give yourself a small reward whenever you achieve a sub goal, so you can maintain motivation and sense of like progress.
Ooh.
Like for me, it could be a nice meal with my family after each run every month.
Sure. Or
a nice pair of running shoes after my first attempt to like the full half marathon.
Oh.
Well, at the same time, expect to revert to your old habits or skip a monthly goal on along the way, because when you fail to do like a small thing,
yes,
don't just give it up altogether, but treat any failure as a temporary setback. Don't just be like, oh, I missed in March, so whatever, it's gone. No, do it again in April and then make it through.
Right, because we're all human beings. We're not robots, right? So I was thinking, what kind of little treat can I give me? On purpose, you have to have ballet shoes, right? So I do have my ballet shoes, but on purpose, I didn't buy myself like a pretty leotard with a little skirt because I wanted to wait until, I can make it through the hour. So I'm thinking if I can make it through 2 hours straight, I'll reward myself with a nice black leotard. Black is slimming, right? Yeah. Black leotard with the little skirt. And I'm not talking about like the foo-foo. I'm talking about the very, normal chiffon, very simple skirt. So maybe I'll treat myself that way. Yeah. So yeah, that sounds good. So definitely thank you for sharing, breaking down, I guess, your bigger New Year's resolutions into smaller ones. I think that's definitely going to make it doable, right?
Yeah, and once you choose everything, your resolution, and set smaller goals, how about tell your friends and family about them? You're more likely to get support and want to avoid failure because you don't want to be like, what happened to your goal of running a half marathon? And if you want to, take the extra step, post them on your Instagram or Facebook.
Okay.
And, hashtag maybe Shine Kim Fitness or Morning Wave in Busan. We can all be a part of a bigger community.
Wow.
And cheer you up to success.
So if anybody's still listening out there, cheer me on. Get Kat through 2 hours of ballet class without throwing up. I hope you're not eating right now. But anyhow, thank you, Shine. We'll check in with you next week in January.
Yes, Healthy New Year.
Yes, okay. And that was Shine. I'll be back after this.